What's happening, Hot Wheelers? Welcome back to the Motor Hood. It's Joe Motor here, and as promised, I wanted to do a little comparison between the two Christine cars, the Plymouth Fury that was released by both Auto World and Hot Wheels. Hot Wheels, the most recent release in the entertainment line, formerly the retro entertainment line. I guess they're just calling it the entertainment line now. And then Auto World released this piece in 2014. Part of their, I think, the premium collector edition that comes in the clamshell, the most expensive line from Auto World. So got these two pieces here and thought I would just show you. It's a good excuse. Both of these cars are really cool, but it's just a good excuse to kind of look at the little subtle differences that each manufacturer puts into their car making at the 1/64 scale. And you'll notice some differences right off the bat. So let's get right into it here. You'll notice on the Auto World, you have the blacked out windows, and on the Hot Wheels you do not. And the reason that's important is that if you've ever seen the movie Christine, which is, I think it was released in the 80s, it was written by Stephen King, and it's about a haunted car, basically. So when she's not feeling like you're paying enough attention to her, she will come after you, and when she does, her windows go black, and then her lights come on, and she comes after you. So you better watch out for Christine. But Auto World decided to do that version when she's possessed, and Hot Wheels did the more innocent version of Christine with her windows nice and clear. So that's the first difference that sort of pops out at you, as well as the red color is very different. It's much more orangey bright red on the Hot Wheels and more of a dark red on the Auto World. And keep in mind too, the Auto World, there is an ultra red chase version of this car, so you can get a version of this in an even darker, more sparkly red version, which is pretty awesome. It's definitely on my wish list, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. And plus it'd be hard to crack just because it's one of those rare chase pieces. But this piece is really great. I did a whole video on this particular Auto World Christine release. I'll try to put a link in the description below, so if you want to see it even more up close and personal, you can click on that. But I just wanted to show you really quick up close them side by side so you can get an idea of the differences in the two manufacturers. Like right off the bat, you'll notice the detail is so refined and fine-tuned on the Auto World. You just notice how fine those lines are on the grille, and the extra detail they put into the headlights and the insignia that is on the hood. If I can get it to focus here. There we go. Just look at that beautiful smooth detail all the way down to the license plate and right up over the hood, where you even had these the hood pin decorations right above the headlights there. Just really beautiful detail. Now you get the same idea with the Hot Wheels, but because Hot Wheels is mass produced, many more of these are produced than in Auto World, you know, they're not going to be as refined. They're going to be a little more stamped, and some of the characteristics of Hot Wheels are a little more exaggerated in the hood over the headlights there, and the bumpers feel a little more chunky, you know, just a little bit more mass produced and not quite as refined as the Auto World. So you'll just notice that right off the bat when you're looking at these two cars. The other thing, little tiny detail, is that the license plate on the Auto World, if I can get it to focus again, is tiny lettering. And I should have looked at the movie to see which one's more accurate. That one is just very, almost not visible with the naked eye. The Hot Wheels looks more like a regular license plate that you'd find on a car of that era. So I'm not sure which one is actually more authentic, but you'll have to decide for yourself on that. You'll also notice when you look at the wheels and tires, obviously the Hot Wheels is super chunky, thick Real Rider tires with tread, which I'll show you really quick, which is pretty indicative of a Hot Wheels model. Really cool Real Riders with the white walls and silver inlaid wheels there, whereas Auto World is trying to be a lot more true to scale, so their wheels are a lot thinner. And for me, in 1/64 scale, they end up looking a little weak, but if you were to enlarge this car to 1:1 scale, they would probably be more correct. And, you know, Auto World is after that super exact, authentic scale replication. So most of all of Auto World's cars, if you're to blow them up to 1:1 scale, they should look accurate. Whereas with Hot Wheels, if you blew this up to 1:1, it might look a little funky in some areas, because I think Hot Wheels designs a little bit more stylistically for the 1/64 scale. So it looks a little more stylistic in 1/64 scale, whereas Auto World is really just trying to shrink that 1-to-1 scale car down to 1/64 scale. I hope that makes sense. But you still have the white wall tires here, and the silver inlaid wheels, and then the base on the Auto World is much more sculpturally detailed, quite a bit more going on there. And then there's the information on the bottom if you're interested. If you look at the Hot Wheels, not quite as much in-depth detail, just a little bit more standard, but there's still quite a bit of features there on the base that you can take a look at there. So both of them have the white canopy, both of them have the side stripe, you know, that the wing that goes all the way down to these monster sort of shark fins or bat wings back here, whatever you want to call them. And then this is a pretty neat comparison here, just because the Hot Wheels here on the bottom, you can read that Plymouth pretty well. It's pretty well defined. There we go. And you have the license plate, the tail lights, and those big wings in the back. With the Auto World, just look how refined it is. Just a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more care taken in those details with the silver trim. The Plymouth is barely visible, but it's probably more accurate to the actual car. As with the license plate, just a lot smaller type there. Hot Wheels enlarges it a little bit, so probably to make it easier to tampo and also easier to read for the younger collectors. But the older collectors probably appreciate that more authentic look on this one, even if you can't read it. But you just notice right off the bat the refinement of the Auto World versus the Hot Wheels more mass-produced version. But either one, this car is just a big, chunky, massive. It's got a lot of character. If you ever see one in person, you'll never forget it. And the other one thing before I go here is that it's interesting to note that these two cars are almost exactly the same width and length. The only exaggerated portion is the rear, which you'll notice here. I'm putting them rear to rear here, and you'll notice the Hot Wheels on the right here is just a little bit wider. So the bumper goes a little bit out, but the wings on the back are nearly at the same exact width. The same goes for the front. I'll just put around to the front here so you can kind of see the front. You know, almost exactly the same width. You can almost not tell a difference between the cars when you look at them that way. When you start moving them this way, you start noticing quite a bit of difference. I apologize if I'm moving them around too much here. But also with the length of the car, I don't know if I can show this as well, but if you put them wing to wing, see if I can get that, they're almost the exact same length. I don't know if you can see that or not. I got a bunch of information on my video screen here, so it's blocking some of the detail. But as you can see, that front headlight all the way back to the wing, it's almost exactly the same length. So you really have to look hard to find out what are the differences between the two models. And so I hope I've been able to show you quite a few of them here in this video. So you notice also the interiors are not quite that detailed in the Hot Wheels. You do notice some texture there on the dashboard, and inside you'll notice some detail, but not too much. It's all kind of red and probably made not to be too detailed. But the Christine, and I pointed this out in my last video, you would think they would eliminate the interior because the windows are all black. Well, they didn't. They left the interior in, and they made sure, you can see here, I'm putting a light inside the interior so you can see the steering wheel right there. And also the seats in the back and everything. So they did not skimp on the interior, and that is a lot to be said for Auto World to go ahead and put that interior in there. Of course, with the Auto World, you also get the opening hood, which you don't get with the Hot Wheels. You get that amazing engine detail on the interior of the Christine there. So hands down, you know, if you're into the accuracy, the scale accuracy, the true to film accuracy, and the refined details of the 1/64 scale, Auto World's got Hot Wheels beat quite a bit. And I'm thinking these retailed for around $7 to $9 US dollars. So these were a premium casting. If you buy it online, it can run you 15 bucks with shipping. And I don't know what it's going for now. The chase piece has gone upwards of 50, I've seen. So it's a pretty popular but pricey model, whereas this one, a lot easier to find. And in fact, I believe there was a release of this vehicle in the Boulevard line, and I have not seen, I don't have it, so I can't compare the two, but they're very similar. The other thing I wanted to mention is that Christine is the only Hollywood release from AutoWorld in their 1/64 scale. I got real excited when the Christine came out because I thought AutoWorld would be releasing some more Hollywood type releases or cars, and unfortunately they have not. This has been the only Hollywood release, and they've certainly released different types of TV and film related cars in their slot car line and in their 1/24 scale line. But for some reason they've shied away from it. It may be because Hot Wheels sort of has the market cornered on TV and film cars, or also, Greenlight has also been doing quite a few Hollywood type cars recently. But I'd love to see some more Hollywood and film cars coming out from AutoWorld, just because they're so authentic to scale and so accurately detailed that I'd love to see some more. So I hope AutoWorld will do that. And just a side note here, Johnny Lightning, I think, actually released the Christine first in several different colors and types, but it was really awful. Like it was one of the very few times where Johnny Lightning just didn't get it right. The car looked a little strange, the wheelbase was off, and the shape of the car just wasn't very correct. So these two for me are my favorites. You guys let me know in the comments what you think, which one's more authentic, which one you like the best. It doesn't have to be authentic for you to like it the best. But both of these cars are great. They're both worth owning if you're into the big boat cars, or if you just like TV and movie cars. These are fantastic models to have. So if I left anything out, put it in the comments below. Thanks for watching. More videos to come. See you next time.